Okay, right now we are talking about sensor wiring configuration. So this figure is about PMP three-wire standard diagram. So in the PMP, if you can take a look to this figure, so this is referred as a PMP sensor three wiring. This is referred as sourcing sensor. Okay, PMP here refer as a sourcing sensor. Okay, when sensor detect a signal. You see here, if this sensor detect a signal, this will be similar to closed circuit. So this will be closed. What does mean if this sensor detect any signal or detect any or sense any object? Here, this will be kind of like closed. This means the positive current will go from the positive to the sensor and then to the load, okay, and then to the L minus, okay. So this is referred to sourcing because this sensor will give positive to the load, okay. So if this is detect, the current will go from plus to sensor or to, I'm sorry, yes, to the sensor, and again go to the load and then go to the negative terminal. So this is the connection point of PMP. Okay. So this sensor, if we can see the load will receive the plus from the sensor and negative or minus from the other side. Okay. So here load is connected between sensor output negative side. I'm sorry, sensor output uh, and negative side. Okay. So this one connect between the sensor output. The load will be connected. This is the sensor output, and the other side is the negative side. Okay. Output becomes active high, so output will receive a voltage or when the target is detected. So if the sensor detect uh, an object or a signal, the load will receive active high. Active high, that means the sensor will be a plus. Active high, that means the sensor will be a plus, or like a plus, the signal will be a plus. Okay, let's see what's that. This is normally open. Normally open, that means this PMP sensor will be off when the target is absent. We know that this means PMP will be off when the target is absent, or will be on, will be like open or off. Normally closed, this means PMP will be on when the target is absent. So PMP will be connected when the target is absent. Okay? This is what we called PMP three wire standard. Okay, let's see NPN. NPN three wires standard. You can take a look. This is different. Okay, if you want to compare between PMP and NPN, you can see the NPN the wiring is different. You can see the sensor will be load. I'm sorry, the sensor will be connected to the load like this circuit. Okay, and let's see what this circuit represents. This is called syncing sensor. This means when the sensor detects a signal, it's pulled the output from the load to the ground. Okay. For example, this one, if the sensor detect a signal or detect an object, so the current will go from the plus to the load to the sensor, and then the sensor will be to the ground or to the minus signal. Okay. So that's why I call the sensor. This one will pull the output to the ground, or connect the output to the minus. Okay, this one is negative. Okay, and you can see here that the load is connected. You can see the load is connected between the plus, the positive voltage or a plus, to the sensor output. So this is to the sensor. Okay, and then the sensor will connect it to the ground. Okay, this means the sensor will be active low. That's mean because the sensor here, if you can take a look here, the sensor connected to the minus. This means all this side is negative or minus. This means this sensor is active low. Okay. Okay. What is 4-wire PNP DC complementary sensor? Okay. This will to provide two output complementary. So what does mean to output complementary? Which include normally open. So you can see here we have two outputs. This is output number one. You can take a look here. Output number one, and we have output number two. This is the load, okay, and this is the plus. Plus will go to the sensor, and the sensor here you can see here normally open. Okay, what is normally open? That means the output here. The output is activate when the sensor detect the target. Okay, so this is normally open. Plus will go to the output. To the sensor, and the sensor will be, you can see here, will be closed if detects any object. If this one is closed, the output will go here and will go to the load, and load will connect it to the minus. So that means there is output here, go to the load, and the load connect to the minus. This is normally open. And normally closed, output will be deactivated when the sensor detects the target. So you can see here, the output here is normally closed. If the sensor detects the target, this will be open. That means if the signal go here and go here, this will be open circuit. That means there will be no signal going. No, that means there will be there will be no signal going to this load. But if this one, if there's no target, or if this one deactivated, for example, okay, this will be, there's a signal going here and going here and going to this load and this to the minus. Okay, this is the how to connect this sensor plus. Then this is output number one, output number two, and the last one is this one. That's why we call this is 4 wires. 1, 2, 3, 4, and two output. Okay, so this is 4 wire. 1, 2, 3, 4, and two output. 1, 2. Okay. Here, when connect this sensor to two load, normally open. This is the normally open. Drive the output to one load. So this is normally open. Will drive the output to this load. While normally closed, this is normally closed, will drive this output to another load. So this is two outputs. When sensor detect the target, normally output become active, send the plus to the first load. So for example, if this sensor detect a target, this means this will be connected and this will be open. Okay, this will be connected and this will be open. This means the normally open, this one, become active. The normally open become active, send a plus volt. So if this one become active, because this will be closed, will send the plus volt from here, okay, to the first load. And normally closed will be off or will be open. This means there will be no signal going here. Okay. If the sensor did not detect the target, normally open will stay open. So if there is no target, this will stay open. This means there will be no signal here. And normally closed will be closed. So this is normally closed will be closed. That means there will be a signal here. Okay. And supply a plus voltage to the load. Okay. Series and parallel connection. In some application, you can see it may be desirable to use more than two sensors to control the process. Sensor can be connected in series or in parallel. You can see here if the sensor connect in series, that means the sensor must be on, turn on. Must be all the sensors should be on to give an output. Okay, when the sensor is connected to parallel, so each sensor turn on, that will be the output will be on. Okay, let's see what is the series. So the series, we know that if we connect anything in series, that means the plus will connect to this part. Okay, for example, if I have two sensor 1 and sensor 2, you can see we have A, B, C, D. So if I need to connect any sensor or any resistor in series, that means if I have this sensor A or sensor 1, for example, this is sensor 1, I will put S1, and sensor 2, I will put S2. Okay, if I need to connect these two in series, this means sensor 1, they have AB, you see here, and sensor 2 as well, they have AB, I'm sorry, CD. This is the terminal. So if I need to connect anything in series, I have to connect this one to the plus, and this is to another sensor series, and this is to the minus. Okay, like any resistor, this is to the plus, and this is to another one, and the other D to the minus. This means the output of sensor 1 will connect it here to the C, and D will connect to the minus. So you can take a look here. Okay, this is parallel, but let me see the series. This is the series. You can see here the plus connected to this, the first sensor. The output of the first sensor will connect to the output of the first sensor will connect to the input to the second one. The input of the second one connected to the load, and then to the output. Okay. The three wires, it is similar or the same. You can see here the input of the first sensor connected or to the plus, and the output of the first sensor it will connect it to the input. You can see here the output of the first sensor connect to the input of the second. Okay, and the output of second sensor connected to the load, like similar to this one. You can see here this is, and that one, and then connect to the load. So this one, the plus output, this is the output, connect to the second sensor, this one connect to the second sensor, and this is connected to the load. This one connect to the load, and then the ground connected here and here. The ground will connect it to this one and this one. Okay, connected to the first one, I'm sorry, to the first sensor and to the second sensor, and then connected to the load. Okay. Okay, if I need to connect anything in parallel, for example, I have sensor 1, they have here A and B, and they have sensor 2, C and D. So if I need to connect, for example, if you can consider this one as a resistor, and if you need to connect something in parallel, You know that if you want, you have to connect a plus, for example, to the first sensor. Okay, I will say this is sensor 1, and also the plus will connect to the second sensor. We'll say this is sensor 2. Okay, and then both will connect to the load. So if I say here, this is A, sensor 1, and B, and this will be C and D. C and D. Okay, these will connect it to the load. Okay, or each one will connect to the load, or both will connect it to the load. Okay, this is load. This is sensor 1 and this is sensor 2. This means A will connect to the plus. So I'm going to see here I'm going to connect A to the plus. A connect to the plus and also connect to the C. So I'm going to connect this one also to the C. Okay, plus will connect to the C. And B, this one, B, I'm going to see this is B. B will connect it both to the D. You can see B connected to the D and then connected to the load. Okay, and then connected to the load. So you can see here, this one connected to the plus for the first one and the second one, and the output here, both outputs will connect it to the load. Okay, this is the similar of with 3 wires. You can see here the plus the same, this one plus connected to the first input. So here also the plus, you can see this is the plus should be. So the plus connect to the first input, this is input and this is input, to the first input of the sensor and the first input to the second sensor. Okay, and the output, you can see here the output here, 2 output connect together to the load. This is the same, 2 output connected together, this output and this output connected together to the load. Okay, and then the negative, you can see here the negative, both negative connected together to the negative side of the load. So this is negative and this is negative, both connected to the negative side of the load. This is the 3 wire parallel. Okay, and thank you for your watching.